Lynette Linton, great to see you.
You too.
Just after your press announcement for your 2019-2020 inaugural season at Bush Theatre.
Yeah.
So you've unveiled your vision onto the world. How does it feel? How are you feeling?
Relieved, excited and tired would be the three words. But mostly excited, I think. Yeah.
But your season, you got the UK debut plays by 6 British and Irish playwrights. You got 5 senior artistic associates, including director and actress Adrianne, who you co-directed Richard II at Shakespeare Globe with. And you'll be closing the Passing the Baton commitment, which is a 3-year programme. And you have chosen to restage acclaimed poet Jackie Kay's first play, I hope I'm saying this right, Chiaroscuro.
Yeah, every time I say it differently as well.
Yeah, and you've chosen that to direct that. Yeah. Why that play?
Because it fell into my hands, and I, first of all, love the form of it because it's part poetry, it's part song, and part play, and I've not done anything like that before. So the challenge of that was exciting to me, and because the conversations that women of colour were having in that play, which was written in the 80s, are similar to what we're having now. And this narrative that like we've been only around for the last 5 years, it drives me mad in terms of theatre anyway. Do you know what I mean? So like, oh, now look, diversity is a buzzword in the last 5 years, and actually women of colour have been writing incredible scripts for such a long time, and it's about reviving that, reworking that, looking at it and celebrating that, because I'm here because of all of those women. Particularly all of those black women who I'm standing on their shoulders. And for me, Jackie Kay is one of those women.
Well, I mean, she's a phenomenal artist.
And most people don't know who she is. And that is such a tragedy. And one of the reasons why I went, okay, what's the first thing I can do is to pay tribute to those women.
And what would you say the season says about you? Because you're renowned for working with new writers.
Yeah.
Shakespeare was a departure for you.
Yeah.
Which is
that
the
I
second.
survived.
So yeah, you survived.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you hope, your inaugural season says about you?
It says that we ban the word risk in the way that we are going to take risks. That those are debut plays. Those are artists that the whole season is, first, even Jackie's play is her first play. And I think that says that we're here to represent that work. We're here to champion that work and to keep developing those writers. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a commitment we're making to writers for years. It's not just we put your play on, great, see you later. It means that you're here, you have your first play here, you'll have your second play here. We'll keep working with you. All the writers coming through the different talent development streams that we've set up, it's a commitment to you. Do you know what I mean? And that goes further than a commission or one production. It's about how we maintain that. And in the different ways as well. Of course, we can't put every single show on that we want to, but how can we support and grow these people?
Well, that's why you've chosen to have 5 senior associates, isn't it? Because the whole thing about sustainability, you want creatives and writers, playwrights to have a sustainable career. What does that actually look like to you? Because we talk about, certain terms we bandy about, like sustainability, but in your mind's eye, what will that look like? How would you know that's been successful?
Why the Passing the Baton scheme is so amazing is because that's what that's for, is to go look at this work that was on.
I was going to say, because it's almost like living legacy, isn't it? Rather than saying, think ahead, like, what am I going to leave behind? What can we cultivate and sustain now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I suppose that leads in nicely to your passion and commitment to young people, for them to feel like you when you were 15, to come in and see Bush Theatre as a place for them to be, that it is possible. Why is that so important to you?
If it wasn't for people like Ricky Beadle-Blair, if it wasn't for people like Christopher Hayden, if it wasn't for some of the books I started reading, James Baldwin, I wouldn't have found it. I sort of fell into that by the people I met. And I see time and time again young people who don't get the exposure to the theatre, don't realise what new writing is, literally just go theatre Shakespeare. And that, in my opinion, is a problem. The long road for me is just like how theatre is spoke about generally in communities, and how people, this whole thing about feeling comfortable in buildings and feeling like I'm going to go to the theatre instead of the cinema. I'm going to not watch Netflix, I'm going to go watch a show. Still isn't a thing people are saying. Do you know what I mean? Some people do, But I think there's a whole conversation and a road to go in terms of making theatre the thing to do. And it's not an exclusive club, and it's not for people who've gone to university, and it's not for artists who are engaging and want to be on the stages. It's for everyone. And that's why I talk so much about 15-year-old Lynette, but also talk about my parents and my family who are like, why do I need to watch a show? I can watch EastEnders. And until we're in a place where those questions aren't, I mean, of course, you might want to watch EastEnders instead of a show. It might be your taste. But is that why? Let's interrogate it. Let's unpack it. And until we're in a place where everybody can feel welcome in these spaces, I think we've got a lot of work to do.
I'm going to come back to a question for 15-year-old Lynette. We're going to end on that. I just want to talk about spaces because you've been occupying quite a few.
It's because they can't get rid of me, innit? They try, and I'm like, no, I'm staying.
Before your inaugural season announcement, I mean, like you were saying, before we start this interview, I've been bumping into you everywhere. You know, I'm like, wow, does Lynette sleep? Obviously with, back in February, the Globe, Shakespeare's Globe, and you're co-directing with Adrianne, Richard II, Women of Colour Company, Making History, Sweat, which is a fantastic production, as was Richard II, at Donmar, and then you've oversaw the transfer to the West End and Gielgud Theatre. You managed to keep the whole cast, the original cast, and having a vision for here. What does that say about you as an artistic director?
To continue the work, to continue what I and we stand for, what the Bush stands for, to build on what Maddenly started and to push it further. I think the work that I've done outside of the building can signal the sort of thing that I'm into. And I talk a lot about the fact that it took me such a long time to see people like myself on stage. And I never want anyone to be in that position again. Do you know what I mean? And so that thing about like everybody feeling welcome is really dear to me, and pushing that across, trying to push that as far and wide as it can go, but starting here. And that can be from the food that we sell, that can be from the shows, that can be the people working here, that can be the music, is everything. Do you know what I mean? And having a really clear, and you said, what does artistic director, what does a job mean? It's having a really clear vision of how to do that and not being afraid to fail. Do you know what I mean? I've already seen some people comment and be like, oh, that season it's really cool, but it's a risky season because it's first debuts. Yeah, like there's no point coming here and putting stuff on if it's just like, oh yeah, we knew she was going to do that. We knew, what's the point? What's the point? Do you know what I mean? There's theatres that you can go and watch the traditional type of play. And even the fact that there is a traditional type of play means there's still work to be done because we just should be watching plays.
Just finally, knowing what you know now, and the experiences that you've gone through and will be going through, what would you say to 15-year-old Lynette, knowing what you know now, about her place in the artistic world?
So I'd say to her, you're going to run a building. I'd say to her to the times that you walked into spaces and felt like you didn't belong, to remember the reasons why and harness that and look through that and look past that and find a way of how to make you stronger, because you belong in all of those spaces and you should be taking up space and you should be telling those stories. And I think if someone had really said that to me at 15, I mean, I just think that needs to be said to young people. Do you know what I mean? And the portrayals of what you might see on yourself in the media and some of the stuff that's on telly, if you can see that's not you, then what are you going to do about making sure that people see you? Do you know what I mean? And I think that young people need to hear that, and I think young people we need to be celebrating them. So I think that art is a way of doing that. Okay, so Lynette Linton, the new artistic director of Bush Theatre, thank you so much for your time and good luck with your inaugural season. Thank you. You better come see some stuff.
Oh, I will.
Thank you so much. It's been great.